Vinyl 4, let's go. Craig, Shawn. How are you, Craig?
Good, man. How are you, Shawn?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm so excited about this. Episode 1, Vinyl 4. For those of you that, hopefully, some of you that are carryovers from our other podcast called Revinyl, hopefully you're giving us a chance here with this podcast as well. We've been talking about it. We're really excited about it. Maybe some of you hated Revinyl and said, I'm going to give them one more chance. They've got one more chance at this before I give up on those two clowns. But we talked about this for a while. So we've been doing Revinyl for a year and a half. We've
Yeah,
got, I don't know, 70, 80 episodes. We did a podcast a few years ago called Number One Fan Club. You've got another podcast called Schizophrenic Music. I've been fortunate enough to be a guest on that before. We've done a lot of music podcasts, a lot.
for sure.
But, and I'm not taking anything away from any of those, but I love this concept, what we're going to talk about. I'm going to lay it all out here.
Nice.
The whole
Let's do it.
idea, yeah, let's do it. So the whole idea of Vinyl 4, we were actually, you and I were talking one day because with Revinyl, we tried to mix it up every week and do some different pieces and some different segments, I guess you would say. And we were talking about new segments. And then I kind of threw out to you the idea of what if we did some type of, we talked about the Rolling Stone 500 list before, and in its imperfectness, but also perfect. It's amazing that you you had a group of people sit together, experts, and pull together the 500 greatest records of all time. Of course, we picked it apart some. Oh, I can't believe this is number 5. I can't believe something's 387, whatever. But
Yep.
it's a great list. And we've referred to it even as this 2012 version as the classic list. There's been several versions. But I said to Craig, what if we did a March Madness style 16 albums every week, randomly selected from the Rolling Stone 500, and we end up every episode we end up with a final 4, or AKA Vinyl 4. We thought this is pretty cool. This would be a lot of fun. It has elements of sports,
Yep.
reality TV with Survivor, plus we get to talk about 500 of the greatest records of all time.
Absolutely. And I will let me interject here real quick too. I think
Yeah.
people will be surprised because if you listen to schizophrenic music, or if you listen to, fortunately, you probably came from Revinyl here. We dig pretty deep, right? But even with this list, Shawn, I think it must be said there's a lot of music on this list that people aren't going to know.
Oh,
A lot.
100%. There's some that I don't know, and I
Yeah,
thought I
absolutely.
knew just about every quote unquote classic record of all time, but there at least stuff that I knew the name of it, but I've never listened to it. So there's going to be some easy picks for me along the way as we work our way through. So
Sure.
what we're going to do is every week, every episode will be 16 albums. Craig will have 4 matchups, so that's 8 albums. He'll have 4 matchups, I'll have 4. When we then have to narrow it down to my final 2 and Craig's final 2, that creates a Vinyl 4 part 1, and then we set those aside, and then the next week we go with 16 more randomly selected albums, and we have no idea leading into this. It could be Abbey Road, I'm just making this up, Abbey Road number 3 versus Elvis Costello, number 257, My Aim Is True, whatever it is, we
Yeah.
have to pick. And we don't care if Rolling Stone has it 3 and the other one's at 4.99. If I like 4.99 better, I'm picking it. I don't care what Rolling Stone says. I don't care what the critics say.
Yeah.
It's all about if I love it or not. And one thing that we've talked about is, so we figured it out mathematically. 500 doesn't work perfectly with 16. So we'll do 31 episodes times 16, I think comes up to 496. So we'll also have one episode where we'll add 12 other to the last 4 of that. But we'll do 32 rounds of this. So we'll have 32 Vinyl 4s, which then creates a 128, and then we'll narrow that all the way down to 4. So it's really going to be a Survivor type thing every week. So
Yeah.
we're gonna pick 4 today, and then 12 can never return. They're
Right.
gone. They're cast off for good. The way we're doing it is Craig has this amazing app that he found where it's a random number generator and it allows us to track. So we have no idea what's going to be picked. What we are doing, just for the sake of time, is we pre-selected the numbers in advance so that we can just jump right into this and just go album versus album, go. and
Right.
you pick your album, and we work our way down. Let's get started. I'm ready if you are.
Yeah. So
Do you
once
have anything
again,
else?
I do. I've got everything up for us. So once again, we have all, and this is in order to when the numbers came through of obviously 1 to 500. And we'll do two at a time. And then at the end of each two selections, the person who goes first, so we'll alternate probably. I'll start this week, you start next week. But at once you get those two selections, you have to make the pick, right? That's what we
Yep.
determined.
Yep.
All right. So do you want, let me throw out the numbers real quick. So if I'm going to go first this week, the first two numbers that popped up are 113 and 124.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
113. Joni Mitchell, Court and Spark
Okay.
versus Moby Grape, self-titled Moby Grape. Who you picking?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know that Moby Grape album that well. I don't. I do know Moby Grape, but I do not know this album very well. But I do not like Joni Mitchell. I'm sorry, people. So this is an easy pick for me. I'm gonna go Moby Grape.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew we were headed there. All right. So first off, right out of the gate, you got Moby Grape making it past round one. Court and Spark is out. Next up.
All right. So we've got two numbers here. And I'm gonna do the selections too. I'm gonna tell you who the artists and albums are too, just for the sake for both of us. Just to keep consistency, because I think my list might be a little bit different for yours. There was an abnormality on a list that we had initially. So let me do this. All right. So the next two numbers, Shawn, are 152 and 460. 152 is the B-52s self-titled album, their debut, and 460 is the Drifters' golden hits.
Okay. Well, I don't know a ton about the Drifters. I'm not a huge, even though I'm a huge soul fan, love 60s soul, the earlier stuff, more of the doo-wop stuff. And I'm really probably being too harsh on the Drifters here, but I'm going to go with the B-52s. I'm from Athens, live in Athens, and
Okay.
they're an Athens band. I'm going B-52s as my first choice.
Awesome. Okay. Documenting this as we speak. All right. So next up are my selections here. We have number 15 and number 427. Number 15 is Jimi Hendrix Experience. Are you experienced? Oh, and 427 is Cheap Trick. Cheap Trick at Budokan.
Oh,
Oh, darn it. All right. I got to be honest. I mean, I love Cheap Trick. I do, and at Budokan is one of the best live records. But I'm not a live record guy as much, and that is as iconic a live record as there are. People, if you haven't listened to this album, I implore you, you must listen to it. But I mean, are you experienced? I got to go. Are you experienced?
I thought you were going to say, "Are you experienced? Are you kidding me?"
Darn it! I missed that
That-
one.
yeah,
Sorry,
you missed it.
missed
Yeah.
opportunity.
See, this is exactly what we're going to love, and hopefully the listeners will love about this. Is some of these matchups are going to be torture because that's one right there that's a really tough one. Okay, I'm ready for mine.
All right, so the next two numbers are 16 and 268. Oh, okay. So 16. Whew, this is tough. Bob Dylan's Blood on the Tracks.
Mm.
Whopper. Okay, 268
Mhm.
to Whopper too, man. The Who, Quadrophenia.
Well, I'm just going to put it out there. I was going to just go ahead and say Blood on the Tracks before I even knew what you were going to put up against it because it almost doesn't matter
Yep.
because I love that album so much. It's one of my favorite records of all time. It's pretty cool that in the second pick I have, I get one of my favorite records of all time. No offense to the Who, but it's Blood on the Tracks all day.
I had to side with you on that for sure. I like it. Love it. I knew that I knew that was going to be your selection, but you might surprise me. All right, the next two numbers for me are 224 and 327. 224 looks like that is the Neil Diamond collection. Interesting, a collection for him. Okay. Ooh, 327. This is too easy. The Cure, Disintegration.
Oh my gosh.
How
I'll go ahead and pick it for you. I already know
how
what you're gonna
on
say.
earth is Disintegration all the way down at
That's
327?
absurd.
Yeah, as you could probably tell, I'm going and Sean's going. The Cure,
Yeah.
Disintegration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a no-brainer. No offense to Neil Diamond.
Yeah. Love
He's
Neil Diamond.
amazing. Whew, but Disintegration, that would be tough. That's what I'm talking about. We don't care about what the rankings are. There's probably only a handful of albums in the top 50 Rolling Stone that I would pick over Disintegration. So, there you go.
Agreed. Okay. Your next two numbers are 129 and 468. 129 is Talking Heads Remain in the Light, Remain in Light. That is a
Mm,
classic for sure.
yes.
468. I like seeing this in the list. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't expecting to see it, but 468 is Bruce Springsteen's Tunnel of Love.
Mm, two awesome albums. I love them both. I'm actually going with Springsteen here because I love Tunnel of Love. I think it's one of his best albums. I love
You do?
Springsteen. I love that period of time post Born in the USA, and it was really him more as a solo artist without the E Street Band.
Yep.
So many great songs on that record. As much as I love Talking Heads, I'm still going Bruce Springsteen, Tunnel of Love.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Once again, prime example 129, Talking Heads, 468, Bruce Springsteen. You don't care. I
Nope.
agree. I don't care. I might choose Tunnel of Love as well too. I think that's an underrated
Yeah.
album for sure.
Yeah.
And
Send me your hate mail. Bring it on.
all right, next two for me, and these are my final two. 56 and 474. 56 is Elvis Presley's self-titled album, Elvis Presley from 1956. Classic album.
Yeah.
The Clash mimicked that on their
Yeah.
album cover.
Yeah.
474 is The Smiths' self-titled. Oh my God, the Battle of the Self-Titled. All right, this is the toughest. This is my toughest pick here yet. All right, so if I'm being honest, Elvis Presley 15, 20 years ago would have been bar none my pick. Growing up, for sure. That is a landmark album. I definitely think it deserves to be 56. But that Smiths album is, for one, I think it's underrated in their
Yeah.
catalog. I think it should be far better than 474. I have a feeling they have quite a few more albums in this list. That
Mhm.
album was epic for me, and it stood the test of time more for me. So I'm gonna do the same thing you did with the Bruce Springsteen Talking Heads. I'm going with the high number there with the Smiths at 474. So that's my pick.
Dude, I love it. Yeah, Queen is Dead and Meat is Murder get talked about more, but
Yep.
man, there's something about that immediacy of the first Smiths album that I think holds up just as well. And in some ways, I like it more because it's maybe even a little more raw.
Yeah. Same here.
Love it.
All
Okay, my
right,
last
Sean.
one.
Here you go. Your last two selections here. Number 55. Oh, another Jimi Hendrix experience. Look at this. Electric
Nice.
Ladyland. Wow. Two
Mm,
out of 16. We get two Jimi Hendrix albums. That's awesome. And
yeah.
then 119. Oof. Etta James, At Last.
All right. Well, At Last is probably one of the most beautiful, iconic. I mean, how many movies have had that as the scene in it where it just melts your heart? I mean, that song, her
Yeah,
voice, I love that style of music.
I do too.
But going against Jimi Hendrix and Electric Ladyland, I'm going Electric Ladyland all the way.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All
So
right.
now here's where the fun begins. So I'm going to throw something in there that you and I have talked about. So we have at this point both of us have we have 4 winners each. So we have 8 on the winners in the winners column, 8 in the losers column.
Yep.
But you and I had some tough picks along the way. So one thing that I mentioned to you was what if every week we both have an opportunity to pick one cast off and it's either from my cast offs or yours
Yep.
and trade out.
Okay.
So we've got 8 cast offs right now, and you get to go first this week with your cast-off pick. Next time I'll go first. But right now I'm going to read off the cast-offs that we have.
Yep.
So right now we have the Drifters' Golden Hits, Who, Quadrophenia, Talking Heads, Remain in Light, and At Last, Etta James on my side.
Right.
On your side, we have Joni Mitchell, Court and Spark. We have Cheap Trick at Budokan. Then Neil Diamond Collection. And then Elvis Presley. So then in the winners column for your 4 winners right now, you have Moby Grape, self-titled Moby Grape, Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced, The Cure, Disintegration, and the Smiths, self-titled. So you could take one of your 4 and trade it for one of those 8 cast-offs.
This is too easy. I said earlier, I don't know that Moby Grape album that well. So,
Okay.
I mean, right off the bat, and the other 3 I absolutely adore. So I'm going to trade Moby Grape, and I am going to select. Let's go with Elvis Presley. That was the toughest trade. So I'm going to go Elvis Presley. Yep.
Okay. So now your winners column is Elvis Presley, self-titled, the Smiths, self-titled, Are You Experienced, and The Cure, Disintegration. That's a pretty solid 4. And so in a minute, you're going to have to narrow that down from 4 to 2.
Yeah.
So we'll hold that for you. You could be thinking about that right now while I'm working through my list. So here's what I'm going to do. I have as my winners, I have B-52 self-titled, Bob Dylan Blood on the Tracks, Springsteen Tunnel of Love, and Hendrix Electric Ladyland.
Okay.
I look down the list of the cast-offs because I can't call them losers. They're all winners here. The cast-offs, it's easy for me. It's Cheap Trick at Budokan, one of my favorite live records, if not my favorite of all time.
Okay.
So I'm going to replace, and I'm really sorry here because it's a tough choice between B-52, Springsteen, Dylan, or Hendrix, but I'm going to take out B-52s and put in Cheap Trick at Budokan. So my 4 right now are Cheap Trick at Budokan, Dylan Blood on the Tracks, Springsteen Tunnel of Love, and Hendrix Electric Ladyland. So now you got to pick 2, and then I've got to pick 2, and that's our vinyl 4.
All right. Okay, so I'm doing a little updating on my spreadsheet.
Yeah, and while you do that, I'm going to make a quick hang around till the end, because when we finish this, we're going to add, just for fun, 2 records each that are not in the Rolling Stone 500 that we believe should be. So that's a little extra special thing at the end we're going to do. Okay, Craig, I bought you enough time. You have run out of time.
I'm out of time. Okay, so I've got to narrow this down to 2. So have Jimi Hendrix Experience, just to let everybody know, a recap. Jimi Hendrix Experience, Are You Experienced? I have The Cure, Disintegration. I have The Smiths, self-titled, and I have Elvis Presley, self-titled.
I don't envy you at all, brother. That is tough to get 2 out of that.
This is tough. All right. So I don't listen to him nearly as much, but when I discovered, like, album-wise, just not greatest hits, when I experienced the Jimi Hendrix Experience, see what I did there with experiencing the experience? There was nothing like it. There was just absolutely nothing. And Are You Experienced is absolutely a classic. I don't listen to this album as much as I do Electric Ladyland or really Axis Bold as Love, but still it could serve as the greatest hits. So I have to go with that. So that's definitely one. And I'm sorry, I love the Smiths. I love Elvis Presley, but Disintegration, I mean, that's at least top 50 album for me. So those are my 2 picks. I got to go Cure, Disintegration, and Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced? I feel good about it.
That's solid. How could anyone argue with that? Especially if anyone who's ever heard everyone's heard Are You Experienced? Probably anyone listening to this knows Purple Haze and all the great songs on that record. But Disintegration, if you've never heard it, is just an unbelievable. It's one of the most beautiful. It's just it's almost a perfect album for me. We joke about masterpiece, but it falls in the masterpiece category. Okay.
Love it.
All right, I've got a tough choice to make because I've got the Dylan Blood on the Tracks, Springsteen. I've got Hendrix also, and I've got Cheap Trick. So I'm not going to create a lot of extra drama here. I'm going to get right to the point. Dylan Blood on the Tracks, without a doubt, is making my list as one of my two choices. So Bob Dylan, congratulations. You're moving on to the next round. And then it gets tough because I've got Electric Ladyland by Hendrix. I've got Springsteen Tunnel of Love, and then Cheap Trick at Budokan. All three albums I love. All three albums I've listened to many, many times in my life. I'm going to agonize over this somewhat, but I'm going to go Cheap Trick at Budokan. I know
Oh,
Tunnel of Love is out for me. If I have to pick between those three records, I could immediately push Tunnel of Love off to the side, and then it's down to Electric Ladyland and at Budokan. At Budokan for me was such a pivotal record. It's the album that made Cheap Trick world famous.
absolutely.
It has so much energy. Whenever I listen to that album, I just want to jump through the roof. I've never heard a live album that had that kind of energy they were able to capture.
It's
So
incredible.
I'm going with Cheap Trick at Budokan. Yeah. Send your hate mail to, we got to come up with our email. We don't even have that yet. Do we have our email address yet?
We don't, but I'll select
Really?
it. We need to know if it's going to be the or vinyl for
Or
it. If we
vinyl.
can
Yeah.
get, I'm sure we can probably get one of the two, vinyl for it at gmail.com or the vinyl for. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Next
We'll have to figure
episode,
that out.
episode 2, we will have that solidified.
That means you have to come back for the second episode. Otherwise, you won't be able to send me hate mail. So that's enough right there. Okay. Now we have our vinyl four. So the vinyl four, and this is forever. These are left to the side now and will not be touched again until we get till the very end and
Absolutely.
we narrow back down again. So Safe, Out on the Island by themselves, Safe. Bob Dylan with Blood on the Tracks, Cheap Trick at Budokan, The Cure, Disintegration, and Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced? We almost had two Hendrix in the first vinyl four, which would have been crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, a lot of great albums that we had to say goodbye to, though. The Elvis Presley, for instance, Talking
sure.
Heads,
The Smiths.
Springsteen, the Smiths, Jimi Hendrix. I mean, this is what it's going to be every single week. We may have weeks that get even crazier than this, but that was really fun. Love that. Okay, now so what we'll do is next week we'll come back with another round of 16 random numbers again. We'll plow through them and just keep creating our final four every week. We'd love to at some point even have interaction from fans. Maybe we at some point give them a chance to vote. I think we get through the first 32 rounds to get to our vinyl four.
Yep.
And then maybe we get some fan interaction, allow some people to vote and cast a vote for their favorites. We'll figure out some stuff. Maybe we do some live shows. We will come to a town near you, just buy our plane tickets and pay for our hotel food and drinks, and we'll be there.
Heck yeah. Love it.
We'll
I like
do it
your way of
live.
thinking. I like your way of thinking, Shawn.
Yeah, I'm thinking Maui first. So anyone here listening in Maui would be glad to make it out there. But yeah, we'll do this every week. It's going to be so much fun. Let's wrap up here. But before we do, you have two albums and I have two albums that should be but are not in Rolling Stone's top 500. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first. I'll ask you, do you have any idea what two albums I might select?
I'm just going to take a wild guess. Stone Roses. I don't even know if it's in the top 500. Is it?
No, there's a hint, and it's on the
Okay.
screen.
Oh, really? Is it The Police? Yeah. Is that which one is that?
Zenyatta.
Is that Outland? Oh, that's Zenyatta.
Zenyatta Mandata. Do you realize? All right, that's the first one. We'll go with Zenyatta Mandata. Do you realize that is the only Police album that is not in the top 500?
Really?
And I would argue that's hands down my favorite. I think it's start to finish there. It's just all killer, no filler. It's just banger after banger. You can't listen to that album and not listen to the whole thing. It's just I would venture to say this is my take on the Police, and I love the Police. Their most popular album that probably had the most hits is Synchronicity, and it's really side 2 is flawless. Side 2 is flawless. Side 1 is so scattered. I mean, I do like Synchronicity 1 and 2. I love Miss Gradenko. Love that song. But oh my God, Walking in Your Footsteps is one of the worst. I mean, you can put that on a Disney soundtrack, but it doesn't
Yeah.
belong on a police. And Mother
Yeah.
from Andy Summers is I we've joked around about Revolution Number 9. I would listen to Revolution Number 9 on repeat for a day over listening to that song one time. I mean, Mother is just god awful. Um, that alone knocks that down from a 5-star album to a 4.5. Um,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't put that there. I would rank Zenyatta Mendata, then I would go Ghost in the Machine, then I would go Regata de Blanc, followed closely by the Outlandos D'Amour, their debut, and then
Mhm.
Synchronicity. And I know that, once again, Sean says, send your hate mail. Um,
Yeah.
and the other selection, as you can see behind me up at the top there, can you believe Led Zeppelin 3 is not on the list?
Are you serious? I didn't know that. That is insane.
Led Zeppelin 3,
Gosh, that's
once
one of my
again,
favorite Zeppelin
one
records.
once again, bar none, my favorite Led Zeppelin album. I've heard so many artists that said that's their favorite album because that's when they started to show their softer side. That's when you heard
Yep.
Friends. That's when you heard That's the Way and Gallows Pole,
Yeah.
and oh, that album is so brilliant. I'm just aside from In Through the Outdoor and Presence and
Presence.
Coda, which I guess
Yeah.
Coda is really more of B-sides, but it's the only of their classic albums up through Physical Graffiti that's not in there, and I'm just like, "How?" I looked at every
That
list. I looked at the most modern list, same thing, and so those 2, this is so easy for me round 1 of choosing a
wow.
couple albums because I was like, those are glaring, glaring omissions that not only I would say some of these will be we think should be at least considered. These are not, they should be considered. They firmly should be in the top 500.
Yeah, there's gonna be some even mine, you could argue maybe more this is my opinion and these are records that I'll mention in a minute, which some people may go, I don't know, but how do you Led Zeppelin 3? I'm actually really shocked. I had no idea. I figured that was a shoe in, and I would have put that. I wouldn't even have put that in the 400s. I would have thought Led Zeppelin 3 would be 250
Yeah,
range.
absolutely.
Good gosh,
That's fair
that's
enough. Yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right. I'll give you mine. And one of the reasons we want to do this, y'all, for everyone listening, is we're going through all these classic albums, but we do want to leave everyone with a couple of other things to go listen to because these may be albums. Craig's more you're probably more familiar with. The two that I'm going to mention, you may or may not know or have listened to very much.
Yep.
And some weeks Craig's going to have some obscure ones, and maybe I have more mainstream. Mine are Teenage Fan Club, bandwagon esque.
Mm.
Craig and I both think it's one of the greatest records ever made.
Yep.
It's power pop. If you love the Beatles, if you love Badfinger, if you love Cheap Trick, any of those bands,
Mhm.
the Teenage Fan Club, bandwagon esque. It was the record that it was sort of the beginning of the Brit pop thing because it was right before Oasis, right around the time of Blur. It was early in that era,
Yep.
and it's close to a flawless record. It has some great noisy moments in it, but the melodies in there are straight out of Lennon McCartney type songs. I
Top
mean,
notch.
just top
This band
notch.
right here
Love it.
behind me, this is the latest Sloan album. Sloan,
Yeah.
s I mean, just obviously influenced by Teenage Fan Club.
Yeah. Yeah. And Teenage Fan Club continued to evolve. I love all of their early records, but for
Me
me,
too.
bandwagon-esque, and it doesn't get the credit it deserves. It should absolutely. Yeah, it's more obscure than Led Zeppelin 3, but I'm telling you, go listen to that record and tell me that shouldn't be a top 500 record of all time. So thank you, Teenage Fan Club, for bringing that one to us. The other
Amen to
one
that.
is one that I listened to actually just last night, and I haven't listened to it in a long time. You know, I love Steve Earle, and I love the album he did a couple years ago, the Ghost of West Virginia.
Yep.
Love that record. But I went back and I listened to Copperhead Road last night, and most people know the title song. I'm telling you, man, that's a great album. Have you ever listened to that record all the way through?
Absolutely. That's a classic. I'm surprised it's not, I'm surprised
I am
that's not
too.
more highly. There is a Steve Earle album, I think, in the list, if I'm not mistaken. There was at least more recently.
Yeah.
Haven't dove back into this list, but yeah, I'm surprised that this isn't the album to me.
Yeah, Guitar Town always gets the critic and I honestly don't know that album as much. I got into him after that, more in the Copperhead Road forward, but I was listening back to that record, and it's kind of a Southern Springsteen to me with more jagged edges.
I like
It's
that.
it's Springsteen if he was born in Alabama and had some rougher edges around him, more blue collar. I mean, Copperhead Road is almost a hard rock song.
Yeah,
It's not even really it has country elements in it, but he's got Irish folk elements in his songs and so many Springsteen moments and Beatles. I just think Steve Earle was one of the greatest songwriters of our time, and he probably doesn't get the credit he deserves, and he keeps making
agreed.
great records.
Yep,
But Copperhead Road for me, absolute classic, should be in the 500.
love it.
That's okay. Yeah. If everything was in there that we wanted, then we wouldn't have anything else to talk about.
I know. We
We
need
gotta
something to bitch about, right?
That's right, absolutely. All right, so we're gonna wrap up this being the first episode of Vinyl 4. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. So excited to go through this. This is really a journey. It's gonna be this in or out thing every week, and I can't wait till we get I'm not looking too far ahead, Craig, but when we get to our full 32 Final Fours or Vinyl Fours,
Yep.
that's when it's gonna get even crazier because it is we're already gonna have our 128 favorite records of all time now pitted against each other. It's gonna get wild.
Yeah. That's gonna be I don't wanna think about that right now. We're in
Yeah.
early. Let's
Well, that's
let's
right.
enjoy the ride for right now. Let's do
Yep.
that.
That's right. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thanks for listening to Vinyl 4, and we'll see you next week.